Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. As you know that old is gold, but these pennies known as Lincoln cent are most valuable than you think. Don't spend one of them, you're lucky if you have one of these. So please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a coin that's not only one of the most famous in US history, but also one of the most valuable. Well, for the right reason. If you think the humble 1-cent coin is just pocket change, think again. By the end of this video, you'll be looking at your pennies with a whole new perspective. Let's talk about the 1983 United States 1-cent coin and why it's worth so much more than just a penny. Let's start with the basics. We all know the penny. It's a small, copper-colored coin with a long history. It was first minted in 1793, and over the years, it's undergone several design changes. But did you know that not all pennies are created equal? Some of them are rare, others are worth more than their face value, and a few can fetch a crazy amount of money. The 1983 1-cent coin is one of those rare pennies that holds some serious value. Now, in 1983, the US Mint made a significant change in the way pennies were made. While most pennies before that year were made from a copper alloy mix, in 1983, the Mint started producing pennies from a copper-plated zinc composition to reduce costs. This change was a big deal, because it meant that the composition of pennies changed, but it also created an interesting anomaly. Here's where it gets intriguing. During the transition period between 1982 and 1983, the Mint made a handful of coins that were not copper-plated zinc, but rather, pure copper. This was an unexpected mistake that went unnoticed by most. But for the keen-eyed collectors, this made the 1983 copper pennies incredibly rare and valuable. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket that looks like any other penny, but it's actually a gold mine. Now, most of the 1983 pennies you'll find in circulation are made of the standard copper-plated zinc. However, a small number of them were struck with that copper alloy mix, much like the 1982 copper pennies. These coins are so rare that only a few have ever been discovered, and their value skyrockets because of their rarity. So, how much is a 1983 copper penny worth? Well, let me tell you, it's not your average change. In fact, some of these rare copper pennies have been sold for astronomical amounts at auctions. The value of one of these pennies has been known to reach as high as several $1,000s, depending on its condition and provenance. Let's put that into perspective. A typical 1983 zinc penny? Worth 1 cent, of course. But the rare copper 1983 pennies, with their historical importance and sheer scarcity, have made them prized collector's items. And one of these rare coins, in mint condition, has actually been sold for an eye-watering $7 million. Did you catch that? $7 million. That's right. One of these pennies, which you could easily mistake for a regular 1983 cent, could be worth the equivalent of a jackpot. So, the next time you find a 1983 penny in your wallet or on the ground, make sure you take a closer look. It could be the ticket to unimaginable wealth. Of course, finding a 1983 copper penny is extremely rare, and the chances are slim. But it's a reminder of the incredible value that even the smallest coins can hold. Value that grows over time as collectors seek out the rarer pieces to complete their collections. So, what should you do if you come across a 1983 penny in your pocket change? It's probably not worth millions, but if you suspect you've got a copper one, have it professionally evaluated. You never know what might be hiding in your spare change. Remember, if you want to find rare coins or learn more about the world of numismatics, it's important to educate yourself on the different types of coins and how they're graded. A little knowledge can turn your collection into a treasure trove. Top 2. We've got an amazing story that might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. This is a 2010 United States 1-cent coin, or as it's more commonly known, the penny. You might think, what could be so special about a coin worth just 1 cent? But stay with me, because this little penny is hiding something extraordinary that could make it worth a lot more than you'd expect. First, let's talk about the basics. The 2010 penny is part of the Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. The front, or obverse, features the well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse shows the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that's been around since 1959. What makes this 2010 penny stand out? Well, on its surface, it seems pretty ordinary, right? But as with many coins, some pennies from this year were struck in unusual ways or with rare defects that could change their value drastically. When it comes to rare pennies, what matters is often what's hidden beneath the surface. A typical 2010 penny is made of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams. However, some of these coins were struck with certain errors or features that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. For example, certain 2010 pennies have been found with double die errors. That's when the coin's design is stamped twice, creating a blurry or doubled image. These types of mistakes are rare and sought after by collectors, often driving the value of a penny sky high. Other rare 2010 pennies feature misstrikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned when it was minted. This can result in off-center images or the wrong designs being stamped onto the coin, which also makes them highly desirable. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if my 2010 penny is valuable? Well, it's all about being observant. First, take a good look at the design on both sides of the coin. Are there any visible mistakes, like doubling in the lettering or misalignment? If you find something unusual, grab a magnifying glass and inspect it further. Don't forget to check the edges as well. Sometimes, error coins have irregular edges or other signs of misstriking. And if you're not sure, you can always take your coin to a professional numismatist, or check out online resources and auction listings to get an idea of what your penny might be worth. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. A typical 2010 penny in good condition might only be worth its face value, just 1 cent. But if you have one of those rare error pennies, you could be sitting on something much more valuable. Some of these rare 2010 pennies have been known to fetch staggering amounts of money at auctions. In fact, one particular penny, with an extremely rare double die error, has been known to sell for a jaw-dropping amount. Ready for this? It's worth $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single penny. Who would have thought that something so small could carry such a big price tag? So, the next time you reach into your pocket, be sure to take a good look at your change. You never know, you could be holding a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Or even more. Top 3. We're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the United States 1-cent coin from 2014. And you won't believe what some of these coins are worth. Stay tuned, because you might just have a small fortune hiding in your change jar. So, let's start with the basics. In 2014, the U.S. Mint produced billions of 1-cent coins, which were mainly used in everyday transactions. Most of these coins are still in circulation today, meaning you can still find them in your wallet or at the store. But did you know that some of these coins could be worth far more than their face value? Now, don't be fooled. Most 2014 pennies are worth just 1 cent. But there are exceptions, and that's where the magic happens. With a bit of knowledge and a keen eye, you can find rare pennies that can make you hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. But what makes some of these 2014 pennies stand out from the crowd? Well, it's all about the minting process and the error coins. You see, sometimes, the US Mint makes mistakes during production, mistakes that turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. One of the most common types of error coins involves the misprints. Sometimes the dies used to stamp the design onto the coin are misaligned, or the wrong die is used altogether. These errors can create rare and valuable pennies, making them highly sought after by collectors. Some of the most common errors to look for are things like double strikes, where the design appears more than once on the coin. Off-center strikes, where the image isn't centered properly. Die cracks or chips, which can cause the design to appear jagged or incomplete. But there's a rare breed of 2014 pennies that collectors are particularly excited about. These are the coins that went through the minting process with serious flaws, but instead of being melted down, they were somehow released into circulation. And it's these little mistakes that could make you a fortune. Before we get into the big money, let's talk about the composition of the 2014 penny. It was made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. Unlike older pennies, which were made mostly of copper, This change in metal composition makes the 2014 penny less valuable in terms of its raw material. So why does this matter for value? Well, it turns out that coins with certain variations, like higher copper content or specific errors, become much rarer and therefore more valuable. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the money. It's time to talk about how much these error pennies can actually sell for. While most 2014 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there are some rare error coins out there that have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. For example, one 2014 penny with a massive double strike error sold for over $3,000. Another one, with an off-center minting flaw, went for $4,000 at auction. But these are just the beginning. Now, here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. There is a specific 2014 penny that could be worth a staggering amount, $50,000. That's right, $50,000. This rare coin, known as the 2014 Double Diaverse Penny, has 2 clear imprints of the Lincoln portrait and the motto, E pluribus unum, making it one of the most sought-after coins of its kind. With only a few known examples in existence, collectors are willing to pay a premium for this error. If you happen to find one in your pocket change, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Finding a 2014 penny with this kind of rare error isn't easy, but it's not impossible either. Keep an eye out for any unusual imprints, and check your coins carefully, because one mistake by the mint could be the key to unlocking a gold mine. So, there you have it. While the 2014 penny may seem like just another coin in your pocket, it holds hidden potential for those who know what to look for. And if you're lucky enough to find a rare error coin, you could be looking at a payout of $50,000. Yes, you heard that right, $50,000. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing coin finds and treasure tips. Who knows? The next coin you discover could be worth a small fortune. Until next time, happy coin hunting!